Is the Wolfman a fresh twist on a classic monster, or does it fall flat? In this video, we break down everything you need to know about this highly anticipated reboot. Let's see if it lives up to the legend, so let's get right into it. Let's go.
Hey, Max and Ramy on the mic tonight, talking screens and scenes big and bright. From new flicks to shows that delight, their podcast got that vibe just right. Two guys, a screen, and a podcast flow, breaking down the stories we should know. Tune in, stay tuned, don't let it go. Max and Ramy in the showbiz glow.
Welcome to a new episode of Two Guys, a Screen, and a Podcast. Today we're going to review Wolfman. I've been looking forward to this movie for a long time. I don't know about you, Ramy.
I did not know this movie existed until you told me about it.
I'm a big Universal Studios fan, especially their classic monsters. As you can see, I'm wearing the Exorcist shirt because I'm a big Halloween fan, and we actually went to Halloween Horror Nights not too long ago, Ron.
I have to say, this is an October movie in January. It felt very fall-y, very Halloween-y, for sure.
Yeah, and like normally January Halloween movies, like horror movies, don't do very well, but the last few years that trend has kind of changed. So I was kind of like, okay, it wasn't a good sign. It was getting released in January, but you know, with some of these other movies that have come out recently, like Scream 6, Scream 7, I think there's some other
Megan came out in January as well.
Megan.
So
yeah, and they all do very well.
Yeah, Megan was a decent movie. It's maybe January is the new October. What I like about January is you don't have to have the big hit movies, but you can still have decent movies come out. And usually January is very neglected and nobody really cares about January.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we can say that because I mean, if you look at the outlook for the rest of this month, there's nothing else to watch.
Dude, no, there's the robot one, the AI robot one. Remember the
Companion. But is that January? I thought that was February.
It could have been. Actually, we're closing up on February, so it could have been. I have no idea. But I did hear you say this was a reboot. This movie, The Wolfman?
For most listeners, they probably knew this. This is a reboot. This is Universal's classic. One of their classic monsters. They're silver screen monsters. You got like the four big ones is what you would kind of think of, which is Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, the Mummy. You can also throw in some other ones like the Invisible Man. Was it Creature of the Black Lagoon? Those are all their like classic silver screen, like literally their classic black and white movies. Those were their monster movies.
So how far away was the first movie? It's been a while. Was it like black and white?
Yeah, it was black and white. I don't know how old the first Wolfman movie was, but I'm pretty sure it was black and white. They did do a reboot probably about 10 years ago. I think it was like 2013 or 2011 or something like that. No, it did all right. It was so usually the Wolfman is a period piece that takes place in like Victorian England. If I said that right, don't attack me.
It could be. I don't know.
I don't know history. Back when England had like a king and all that stuff. They still do, but so it's usually a period piece where, you know, London, England is being terrorized by this werewolf, right? That's the classic story. And then the movie that happened back in like the early 2010s was that kind of premise, right? So this was a kind of a new twist, and it follows it piggybacks on what Universal's been trying to do the last like 5 years, where they've been trying to reboot all their classic monster movies and create somewhat of a Marvel universe kind of thing. That was what was the original idea, called the Universal Dark Universe. Do you remember the Mummy with Tom Cruise?
Yeah,
that was the first one. That was the first one.
And what a start!
Yeah. And if you ever
oh wait,
if you ever watch that movie kind of sets up several classic monster stories. I mean, you had uh, what Doctor Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is in that movie. So they set up a bunch of stuff, but that movie flopped. It lost a lot of money.
Yeah,
Tom Cruise turned it into another Mission Impossible movie, and it didn't do very well. So Universal scrapped that idea.
they're starting over, no?
Well,
They are.
so they scrapped that idea, and the next movie on the docket was The Invisible Man, which was directed by the same director we've got here, Leigh Whannell.
Mm.
And they severed the idea of doing the Dark Universe, so they had to completely pivot on the plot, I believe. And he basically created a nice standalone movie. It was a modernized story about the Invisible Man, which is usually, again, a lot of these are period pieces. This one took place in the modern USA. It is a completely different premise where it wasn't someone who kind of like got turned into the Invisible Man. It was this guy who created a suit that could turn him invisible, and it
I know
followed his.
he also, sorry to interrupt, he also like wrote Saw, or he has
Oh, Leigh
something.
Whannell. Yeah,
Yeah,
Leigh Whannell's like he is a horror king. Like he's directed some of the best horror movies ever.
interesting. See, I don't watch any horror movies, so I don't know anything about him. I
Well,
watch suspense and thrillers, and this is probably the edge of where I go with horror.
yeah.
Unlike
Well, a
Max.
couple horror movies you might be familiar with that he
What?
directed would be Saw, which everyone knows
I
about.
know of it. I
You
never
haven't
watched.
seen it, I know, but
Yeah, no
the
way.
the Insidious movies are his.
Okay.
So he's done those. Those are kind of a big thing for him. Um, so he usually does pretty good. If and I say usually, which is probably implying something later down the road. But um,
Yeah, I'm not saying yet. I'm not saying yet whether it's good or bad.
but the Invisible Man is probably one of the best horror movies in since 2020, which is when it came out. But in the 2020 era, it is easily one of the best horror movies made.
Okay. All right. Interesting. What about the Wolfman? What did we think? We're not gonna spoil yet. We're just gonna talk general, what's out there, what you wanna know before you watch this movie type of thing.
Well, the Wolfman, it was all right. It wasn't bad. I wouldn't say it was a bad movie. I enjoyed it. Um, it wasn't what I expected it to be,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. And I wonder,
It
Rami,
does.
since you didn't even know it was a reboot, does
Mm-mm.
it like change your opinion of it at
I
all?
I thought I was going into something different because I always saw the universal what a wolfman. I had it in my head what the wolfman was supposed to look like, and it turned out a bit different. And it was just different, I guess, than what I expected. I was going in, I was thinking, this is a January movie. How good is this gonna be? But at the same time, I was saying it could be that they just didn't find a slot for it in October, so they're throwing it in January. It turns out the movie is okay. It's not the best movie, and it has a lot of holes. However, it's good enough for a January movie. That's all I get to say for me.
Yeah, and you touched on it. Like this Wolfman is different than your classic
Yeah,
werewolf movie, right? So
that's what I was thinking.
yeah, and I don't know if you knew this. The reveal of this Wolfman has gone through some interesting and controversial iterations. So I don't
Mhm.
know if you knew this or if you saw this online back when
Probably not.
Halloween Horror Nights was going on. So Halloween Horror Nights this past year at Universal Orlando did a Blumhouse scare zone, which spoiler alert. Well, I guess it's not a spoiler. This movie was produced by Blumhouse. Um, so because of that, they had all their Blumhouse characters and all this stuff. But then they also had like a little stage, like a photo spot for the Wolfman, where it was just the farmhouse and a stage. And like for the first 2 days of Halloween Horror Nights, the Wolfman from this movie came out, and
Interesting.
people could take pictures with him and whatnot. And it quickly got shut down, where they completely stopped the character meet and greet thing because it was just awful. Like the makeup, the
Listen,
costume, awful.
listen, I
And
get
it
it. Yeah, this is not spoiling or anything.
No.
So I know they did a lot of practical effects. I don't think they used any CGI, and you could correct me on this if you would. Um, and I had a feeling, unlike any movie, that maybe you should have used CGI in some areas. Like makeup was good, but was it good enough? I don't know. It would just look different. I wish they used a little bit of CGI and give me something better, but that's just me.
it's hard for me to agree with you there, because it really comes down to the premise of this movie, like how the whole werewolf, like whatever you want to call it, the
Yeah.
werewolf sickness, whatever you want to call it, is like portrayed. And I actually kind of feel like the way it was portrayed in this movie made sense with what they went with. It's just because it was so different, I think it's going to maintain some controversy from fans. Some people are going to be like, I want that big hairy wolf guy
That's what I was
eating
thinking.
people. Yeah. But then you've got the other people like me are like okay with kind of this modern take. I didn't mind the what do you call it?
The
I didn't mind
simplicity or
what?
the simplicity, I guess, or
Yeah, I didn't mind the simplicity. I thought it actually kind of made sense with what they were trying to set up. I mean,
I could
there's
do it.
only one scene where I was like, I wish I got more of the werewolf stuff. And we
Yeah,
could talk about that later. But
yeah. The movie itself, the story is super simple. I don't think there's any complications. It's very straightforward. There's no twists and turns in a way. Um, but the good about it is I spent an hour and a half, and I wasn't mad about it overall. I didn't regret the movie. It wasn't a terrible movie. It was had a few suspenseful moments, and get this, a jump scare got me. Believe it
it
or not,
did?
it. And we can talk about this in the spoiler section, but gee, there was one that got me, and I feel
Did
like
it?
everybody else knew was coming except me.
Did you
I'm not
go
used to horror movies, Max.
did you go by yourself?
I did.
Oh, okay. At least we experienced that together. I went by myself as well.
I
Uh
did.
my
We
my
didn't watch
wife
it
can't
together. We had
handle
different. We were busy, but
yeah.
I don't think the wife would have been a fan. So I
Yeah.
just went by myself, and
Yeah.
I guess I was so drawn in the movie, and I was so focused, and they got me just like that. What else? There's not much to say without spoiling it, but the story is simple. There's nothing really complicated about it.
Yeah,
You
no,
can follow along easy.
the story is pretty simple. Um and it's something that I feel like I will really get into when we get into the spoiler side, but with Leigh Whannell movies, especially these reboot monster movies that he kind of started with Invisible Man, there's always, you've got your surface level plot, which is the monster story, right? But
Mhm.
then there's always this like what I call an underlying theme that he likes to introduce to kind of give the movie a little bit more depth. And I'm curious what you've kind of how you interpreted the underlying theme, and if you even caught on to it and stuff.
The
But
underline as in like more of the people, you mean? Like the in-depth in people or what?
yeah, like the relationships between
Yeah,
everybody
some I
and
liked and some I didn't. And I would spoil if I say anything, but I would say, if you haven't watched this movie yet and you're wondering whether to go to the theater to watch it, I say don't wait for streaming. That's my opinion. If you're
I
coming
don't
from
agree.
streaming, welcome. You did not miss much.
I don't agree. I think you should see it in the theaters.
Why? What was out
Support
there that
support these movies. This movie was not bad. I think it was worth seeing in the theater.
Eh,
Hey, I will say, like little caveat, don't expect a big body count. This is not that kind of movie. There was
there
not.
wasn't? Yeah, there's like Yeah, I'm not gonna say how many body counts, but you're right.
It's
You're
not.
right. It
It's
wasn't. I will have to say I did enjoy specifically the first 30 minutes of the movie when it was trying to set up everything. It's not a spoiler. It's in the trailer. Well, not the 30 minutes part, but I enjoyed that. And it's so hard to talk about this movie without actually talking about specifics of the movie. I don't know if you agree.
yeah. Well, then let's get right into the
Let's get
spoilers.
right
So
into it,
I'm
Max.
gonna put up a little spoiler alert on the
Go
screen, and
for
then
it.
let's get right into it.
We're gonna
So
spoil.
spoilers. All right, Rami. Yeah, where do you want to start?
Um, let's start from the beginning of the movie. Let's
All right,
let's do
let's
that.
go.
Beginning of the movie. So Max, we see a father at the very beginning who's harsh on his kid, and the father has a reason on why he's harsh, but he's coming across very, very bad or very harsh, and that's the reality of it. And I guess the kid grows up eventually, and he's at the age where he could leave, and he leaves.
Yeah,
Are we following here?
yeah.
The kid
Did you
never speaks
catch?
to his dad.
Well, did you catch that his the main character's dad? Because this is a flashback. The main character is a kid and he's with his dad. His dad is like ex-military, so like that's kind of also kind of where the harshness and routine type stuff comes from. Uh, a little rough around the edges kind of thing. But they live in Oregon,
Yeah,
Washington, kind
yeah.
of secluded. They don't really live around anybody, and they go hunting. I mean, that's what you kind of do,
And it
right?
seems like the dad knows about what's going on.
Yeah. And they call it something different. So they don't call it werewolves. You don't hear them say werewolf once in this movie.
Yes.
It's called it's some different language, but it basically means face of the wolf, I think is what it's
Something like
called.
that, yes.
It's a disease.
As we
It's
saw.
not yeah, it's not a man turning into a werewolf. It's a disease. It's kind of, I think it works very simple. It kind of reminds me of like rabies, basically. So it's like
Mhm,
kind of
mhm.
a rabies version that a human can get.
Yeah. Um, so right off the bat, you could see that they wanna get into, like, personalities and, how you're dynamic. So this kid, when he grows up, he wants to be a good father, unlike his father, or an unharsh father, or a good like, a good figure, father figure, very kind and all that. The mother, on the other hand, she did not seem like she connected well with the daughter. Correct? Are we following? All this
Y-
is within the first half an hour. He hears about his dad dying, and he rents a car or whatever, and he goes down to Oregon to kind of give the family a break or a vacation or whatever. And from here, everything starts to happen. So I have questions on all on I guess beyond or before. How did his dad die? They never mentioned. He didn't really die. He is the werewolf, correct? Did
Well,
I understand that right?
that's the big twist at the end. So what they, you, if you didn't catch it, what the way they explained it near the end of the movie was, uh, the guy's dad. I wish I knew his name. What, do you remember what his name
No,
was? All
obvious,
right.
absolutely not. I'm
The
bad with names.
dad took a trip out into, well, you find out the dad knew about this wolf face of the
Yeah,
wolf disease, and that
yeah.
there was people out in the Oregon forest that probably suffered from this. So he, since the main character was a kid, the dad has been going out into the Oregon forest to hunt these people and try to eliminate them. All right,
Mhm,
that's
mhm.
how I interpreted it. He knew about it and he was trying to take care of the issue. um so
He
fast
probably was
forward,
bitten
yeah. So fast forward,
or whatever.
what happened was the dad went out on one of his trips out into the forest to probably hunt down these werewolves. And in that process, he went missing for multiple weeks. And then when the movie starts during the present day, the main character gets notified that his dad was officially pronounced
Yes.
dead.
Mhm.
Not because they found the body, because he had been missing for so long. Later in the movie, when you find out, you finally see a close up of the werewolf that's kind of stalking the family. It is you see the tattoo, the military tattoo that the dad had
So it
on the
was the dad.
werewolf,
I
and
probably
therefore
didn't pay
you
attention.
kind of conclude that it's the dad.
Okay, so it is the dad.
Yeah.
The story from here, I think, falls apart for me. Like we got to a point where you set up everything with the whole daughter, and you came back, and the family was bitten. This is within the first half an hour to 45 minutes. After that, it falls apart for me. I didn't think there was much in depth. Like so, the wife or the mother, which I forgot her name, she did really well portraying how afraid she was, but it's just the movie did not like this was it type of thing. The makeup didn't do it for me. The werewolf, I was hoping more of the muscular, big, bad guy. The guy looked kind of weak. I felt bad for him more than I felt afraid of him. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the main character, you're meant to feel bad for him because he's not.
He's not a
You don't
werewolf.
want
He's
him
not
to
a
change.
monster. I know
Yeah, he's
that.
not a monster. The bad guy is the original werewolf, which
Yeah.
obviously you find out is the dad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's like that's the bad guy. You want to like it. It was filmed to make you feel sorry for this guy who all he wanted to do was be this is where we get into that underlying theme. All he wanted to do was be different than his dad and not traumatize his daughter the way his dad traumatized him when he was growing up.
The irony is he failed.
The irony is, yeah, it didn't matter what he did
Yeah.
to prevent his daughter from being traumatized.
She's
It's kind of
probably
that yeah, it's kind of that like generational trauma
yeah.
where it just kept it's a cycle within the family. It just passed down to his daughter. I mean, it's slightly different. I don't really know if that's fully the underlying theme, but that's kind of how I interpreted this movie, was this idea of generational trauma.
Mhm. I agree. What I did like though, Max, is so we saw what the monster saw, with the blue things, the perspective of the monster, or the eyes of the monster, I guess you could
Yeah.
say. I would say monster because it didn't look like a wolf to me. Did it look like a wolf? In fact, if they didn't say this was Wolfman on the poster, I don't think I would have known this was about the wolves.
I mean, I think they
Huh?
did enough to
It
make
didn't
you
howl or
interpret it as a
anything.
wolf. Yeah, they did.
How?
Well,
Did
they
it?
didn't howl, but they growled. Yeah. I mean, but I still interpreted it as a wolf. Like a lot of the features that
It's because you
he
know the name
developed.
of the movie you're going into.
I mean, that's
Like,
possible. I can't say that that's not possible. I haven't
if they
seen the
called
movie
it,
without knowing the name.
I don't know, if they called it Monster or something like that, you would have just acted like it's normal. It just didn't feel like a wolf to me, and that my biggest problem, I guess. Um, but I like the two aspects of him, like hearing I don't know, was it a spider or a scorpion or something that was walking down up the stairs, and he could
Spider.
hear it like
Yeah.
it's a giant, like you could see the senses are going higher, and him seeing his wife and daughter like a blue thingy. He can't really hear them. He can't really understand them. I like that aspect.
Yeah.
But just the ending and other things, and we'll talk about the ending at the end. But I don't know. It fell flat at some points. I was hoping for more. I wanted
What
more.
question? Did you catch on how they portrayed him starting to not know if what he was seeing was someone he knew?
At
I feel
some
like
point,
this was
yeah,
very subtle. So, like in one of the scenes where you're kind of seeing things in his perspective, the
yeah.
faces of his wife and daughter are different. Like they're not their faces. And I
Mhm.
feel like that was a very creative way to kind of show that he's losing his mind and losing his sense of
Yeah.
having any kind of human bond with people.
And we never
So
saw
like
this from a director before, like do it from a perspective of the monster as well as the perspective of the world we live in.
yeah, but I mean by doing that, by showing, you know, his perspective and seeing that their faces are changing within his own perspective, that made when he fully goes werewolf mode and attacks them, because like obviously
Yeah.
that's the big climax at the end is he goes from protecting them to now being the thing hunting them down. It didn't feel out of place. It felt like okay, I can track where this virus is starting to screw with his head to the point where he's going to turn on people that he loves.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, and the ending, for me, was not that great. It lacked emotions. I thought it lacked. So we left a few things hanging. First of all, the mother had a broke. They it wasn't broken, but it was like there was something between her and her daughter. They weren't really connecting well. It
Mhm.
seemed, and they never closed that loop. They just never closed that loop. So what they did, they
But
shot him and they left, and that's
I
it.
actually think they did close that loop. I think they bonded over the fact that they were witnessing this traumatic experience together. And I mean, they don't. Sadly, you have to interpret it that way because they don't go past the very end of the movie when they kill the
Yeah,
main character. But I think that was what they're going for, is going through this very traumatic experience with the dad. Like, it brought the mom and the daughter together. I think one big issue with the movie is the
what?
fact that they do spend the first half of the movie focused on the main guy who is going, like, turning into a werewolf, and that's why you probably don't get, like, the payoff that you
Yeah,
could
maybe,
get at the end, because you don't get enough of the mother and daughter relationship in the
maybe.
beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Let me just tell you real quick what got me in the jump scare. You know when she went to the truck and she was like turning on the truck, she put the battery and she hooked him, and then she went back into the truck and then she did the wipers and then you could see you see the wolf right in front of
That's
her.
the one
That
that
got
got
me,
you?
man. That
Oh
got
my,
me.
I can't
Got me.
believe that's the one that got you. That's kinda sad.
Oh man, and also the blood was too much at times, but that's just me. Whenever he was
I
eating his hand,
well,
oh
yeah, there was some creative body horror stuff that I thought was interesting, like, like him, like, eating himself, which was interesting. I get I get the second one. I didn't understand the first time he does it,
yeah,
but, uh,
yeah. Um,
I do
what
wish
else?
there was more from the big transformation scene. Like, that kinda was a little bit lackluster, and I know most werewolf fans are like, "I go to see werewolf movies to see what they do with the big transformation scene, because that's, like, the big, drawing factor. That's
Really?
it's
I
makes or
did not
breaks a
know.
lot of these werewolf movies." And I will say the transformation scene was a little lackluster. I think a lot of people are gonna be disappointed with it, to be
It's because
honest.
they don't use any CGI.
I mean,
Or
that
they
scene
try
they
not
did. That scene they did, but I
very
think
minimum.
because of the premise, because of, like, the behavior of the virus, I don't think they could do, like, a full
Yeah.
werewolf transformation, because then it's like, okay, now you're going too
But
far. It doesn't line up.
don't we think this is a missed opportunity? You could have probably not killed him at the end. Hear me out. This could be an alternative ending. You don't kill him at the end and you let him run free so you could continue on in this movie. You could probably make a second movie. You can make a lot of things when we know this creature is out there, and it could be a full transformation later on the line. It could be your classic Buffy wolf guy. I don't know. But because this was early on in his transformation, it felt like he wasn't fully 100% before he was
No, I mean,
killed.
the full
Oh,
transformation scene after fighting and killing his dad, that was the where he
yes.
goes full werewolf.
But before she killed him, it's like he wanted to be killed. He wanted him to be put out of his misery. So you could tell like there's a little bit of him in there.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe if they let him run free and like maybe like do like continue on the story later on, make it more complicated and have a chance into the story, another chance, or leave it open and maybe later on the future do something, it would have made sense. But
But then how would the mother and daughter get away? Because,
they
like,
could still get away. He ran away. What, they
I
can't
don't
get
think
into the thing? I don't know. They could just, hey, people lived in this area probably for years and they didn't get hurt. These guys go for one night and the wolf is all around them. Come on.
yeah,
It's
I mean, I
true.
would say that the end is probably one of the big plot holes, because, I mean, the big werewolf transformation is the moment where he becomes full werewolf and is no longer who he was.
Yes.
But then he does have that. There's that moment at the very end where he kind of looks at him and is like, "Please kill me, like
He was
put me out of my misery." And it's like that doesn't track. That's not that that is a plot hole in my opinion.
I think he was there still. I think he was I don't know much about werewolves, so I would still say that he wasn't 100% out of it yet.
I don't think he can be there. He bit off his own leg in
Oh,
order to
yeah.
go after them. That's not being there. He's not there.
Are you sure? Why did he like go like he gave her that face
That's
at
what
the
I'm
very
saying.
end?
I think the purpose of doing that was for you to think that there's still a part of him that's there and he wants it to all end. But I'm saying by putting that there, it defeats the purpose of the big transformation, because the big
Yeah.
transformation is the moment humanity is over in him and he is a werewolf, and he will
Okay.
do anything to he'll do anything to get what he wants, and it doesn't matter who it is, right? By putting that scene in there, you defeat that. Like it undermines the transformation scene.
Now I guess you could also they could potentially do that other people was bitten and there is other werewolves out there. He could do something like that for the ending. But I wish that she didn't kill him. That's all.
Well, I guess that's what we can talk about. Is there a future for this franchise for the Wolfman? Because
They killed it.
well, did they? Because here's the
I
other
don't
thing:
what?
what turned his dad? We don't know.
He was bitten. No?
No, what turned
Actually,
his
you're right.
dad?
You're right. Whoever bit him, the wolf that bit him, did they fight? Did they not? Is he out there? Maybe that is the Buffy one. Who knows? It's too many questions.
I don't, Rami. I don't think there's going to be a buff
Dude,
wolf
we need a
werewolf.
Buffy
There's
wolf.
not. I don't think there's going to be a
Your
buff
classic
werewolf.
werewolf. I've never seen a classic werewolf in movies. I'm sure they're out there. I just haven't seen it. And for some reason, I guess so. When I went into this movie, I didn't know exactly what to expect. So I was expecting that this wolf man, he transforms into a wolf and out of a wolf whenever he wanted. Or
Yeah, so actually, that's a big change to the classic werewolf story, because a werewolf.
oh,
What do we know? Werewolves always change during a full moon. They do reference that there's a full moon. I believe they show a full moon the night of this attack.
they do.
So
I think.
I don't know. Maybe there's some correlation with the moon and this virus, but actually, it seems that the whole old premise of you change during at night when there's a full moon, you're a normal person during the day, that doesn't apply in this story. You are just this werewolf thingy always.
Don't you think this is a missed opportunity though?
No, I
Make him
mean,
run away. Let him run away, turn into the man, the father, and now we have all these complications. Your father and your husband is the wolf, but he's also a human. And should I deal with them? Should I not talk to them? Should I like let them live in the woods? What do I do? And that's complication, Max. That's the stuff we need. You just killed him and moved on. Like, let's go. Let's go.
Rami,
Let's go.
Ra- Rami, you need to just go watch the last Wolfman movie, because you're just asking for what has already been done a bunch of times.
So it's you could remake more stuff. I don't know if I haven't
This is
watched
a
it, then
remake.
it's
It's a
not that great.
reboot, reimagining.
I don't know about reimagining. How is it reimagining? And it's not a Buffy wolf.
It's a reimagining because it is different.
So the first
It's
movie
not what you would expect from a werewolf movie.
was the first movie a Buffy like wolf and like
Yes.
your typical. Okay, it
Yes.
was. Was it the same story? Did you watch
No.
it? It wasn't the
It's
same
a
story.
different story. These are not, just so you know, these are not associated with each other. They just have the
Okay.
same name. They're both done by Universal Studios. It's
Mhm.
just like the 2010 version was a more classic story about the Wolfman. So you get your hairy, buffy werewolf like you want, Rami, and they change during a full moon, and then they're a person during the day. Like, you get that whole premise, but then this is a completely reimagining to the classic Wolfman story. So it is
Okay,
different. It's more
I
of a
see.
virus that you can't control. Like you don't change back and forth. You just become this thing that
Then it's misleading, Max. If they tell you it's Wolfman and they do not give you a wolf, then then it's misleading, and that's my opinion. Because
I don't.
where's the wolf? Was that even a wolf? It didn't look like a wolf,
I think he had wolf-like features.
such as his teeth.
He ran on four legs. He had an underbite
So it was a cat.
with canine teeth. He had claws. Like
So it was a
his
bear.
his his chest like pulled apart like your kind of like typical werewolf look. So like there
Yeah.
was aspects that were like, this is a werewolf, even though it's not your classic werewolf look.
You know, we're probably gonna agree to disagree on that one. Hey, if someone watched this movie, even if it came out on a streaming or something, did you think this was a wolf to begin with? If they didn't tell you this was a Wolfman movie, would you have known this was a wolf? Just saying.
My
Just
answer
ask.
is yes.
The answer is no. The answer. Okay, future. Will they do a Frankenstein movie?
I think they will. I think this movie probably did well enough. I mean, it was a low what's nice about these movies, these kind of reimagining of the classic monster movies, they are actually filmed on a low budget, even though they look pretty good from a cinematic and
Yeah,
cinematography
I agree.
standpoint. So because it is a low budget movie, I think they probably made more than enough money to
So
justify doing another one.
to me, Universal, the two big ones are Frankenstein, and
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of movies out there tried with Frankenstein. I don't know if they necessarily like succeed. And Dracula, and Dracula is a hard one to do.
Yeah.
It's a very
Well,
sensitive one to do.
the
So
other thing too is I feel like Universal might wait on doing like a Dracula movie
yeah,
because I believe Dracula is in like the open domain or free domain. So like
mhm.
you get
And
a
you want to
lot
do
of
it.
studios doing Dracula stories.
Mhm.
Yes, it's not the like Universal Studios Dracula story, but I mean just because the it's a bit of a saturated topic, I think they might do one of the other ones like Frankenstein, or you might actually see, which actually I think is more likely, um, Creature of the Black Lagoon, which is I think only Universal can do that. I think they own the rights to that, completely.
All right, very interesting. I don't know if they're gonna if they do a whole universe, maybe this will hit. Otherwise, I just don't know if they will.
Well, I
But
don't think they're doing the Dark Universe thing necessarily. Like, I don't think they're gonna
is this an individual
make them
movie?
all together. Like, it's not gonna be a joint universe. It's just the
Man,
Dark Universe is just this kind of like
it's an
anthology
individual
like
movie, basically.
universe.
It's an individual movie and one and done type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So like
I
the next movie, I think will be. I honestly think the next one will be Creature of the Black Lagoon. I think they'll give the Mummy a shot and redo that.
okay.
But I kind of hope they keep doing or keep having Leigh Whannell do these movies because I think he has a nice fresh take on all these monsters, and I am curious to see how he keeps it up.
All right. Well, Max, you need to rate this movie in three, two,
What on
one.
what scale? What you just
1 to 10. It's always the rating.
is it
Yeah,
always 1 to
it is
10?
now.
I'll
Give it the
give
rating.
it I'll give it a solid 6.8.
Wow, that's pretty low for you.
6.8.
0.8. Okay. I'm giving it a solid. This is harder than I thought because I was gonna say I'm gonna stick with it. A 6.
Boo, not a point, nothing, just a 6.
No, no, I was gonna do 5s. So 6 is good enough. It's because it's a January movie. I'm giving it a 6. I'm putting it up there because there's no other movies to watch.
Yeah. I think why I probably gave it a higher score than most people. I actually appreciated the creativity aspect of the story. I like that it was different. Some of it didn't land, and I'll acknowledge that, but I think it was enough for me to be interested and to stay engaged when watching the movie. So
For me, the reason I gave it a 6 is because it had a lot more potential than it gave us, and I think they could have done way more at the ending, and they did not give us that. And emotions wise, I didn't really feel it much, and that's it. So that's why I gave it a 6.
yeah, if you can't tell, Rami did not like it.
I liked it. It was okay. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst. For a January, for nothing else to watch, it was okay. But wait for it in streaming and watch it in streaming and come back here and tell us what you think. Do
No,
you
don't
think
wait
this
for
was
it in
a wolf
streaming. Go to the
movie?
theaters. Go to
Did
the
not look
theater.
like a wolf.
Watch it in theaters. Go
Watch
to
it
the
at home.
theaters.
It's not worth
Support
it.
the
Watch it
movie.
at home. Save your
Rami.
$15 and watch it at home.
No, we should promote movies.
We do promote movies. Watch it at home. Part of those movies are on streaming. It's probably gonna be like a week or two before it comes out in streaming. So you're not gonna wait for long.
No, I think it'll be mid-February.
That's a week
mid
or
to
two,
late
man.
February.
That's like 3 weeks.
Yeah, 6 weeks. I think typically now with the new rules with streaming, movies going to streaming, I think typically there's this like 6-week rule, which is
Yeah, that's of the movies like Deadpool, dude.
no,
That's not
Deadpool was like
Deadpool
3
took a while.
months.
Deadpool
That
took
was
a
like
while.
3 months.
Okay, fair. Like, there's other movies out there that not 6 weeks. That's just a bit much. But there's nothing to watch out there, Max. Like me and Max, we were sitting together the other day and we were wondering what to watch right now. There's nothing. There was something on Netflix and I told him, should we check this out? It looked super There wasn't just much. So January is very dry. I think
Yeah.
we have, I don't know, a movie maybe next week that's decent.
Yeah,
Flight Risk.
we've got Severance season 2 and
Yes. I have
I
not watched
finally
the
started
first
watching
episode.
it. I
How
finally
is
started
it?
watching. I like it. It's interesting. I'm only a few episodes into the first season, but
Okay.
I'll be done with season 2 by like end of
Listen,
next week.
it's a bit slow after like the first couple episodes, but the last couple episodes of season 1 are really good. And the second season just dropped. Well, the first episode, I think, and I need to go check it out because I haven't. It's a very interesting concept, and it took them a while to work on the second season. So we'll see.
Did you see
And-
they actually they filmed some of the second season like in the middle of what is it? Is it Grand Central Station?
Was that promotion or was it filming? Because
They were
everybody.
I mean, it was I think it was both. I think it was a promotion, but they were actually filming.
Yeah, and the actors, I think they were there for a couple of hours, and they were. It seemed like they were doing stuff. They were actually acting.
Yeah.
So
Ben Stiller was there directing. Like
Mhm.
it was the whole thing, I think.
Very interesting. I feel like I don't know how I would feel like as I'm walking down the station. And I look to my right and I see them, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
What is this? But yeah, awesome. I mean, that's awesome for the show. I will see. It's coming on a good time because there's nothing to watch right now, Max. As I've said.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about there's a movie coming out in the next couple of weeks called Companion that we're gonna watch, and then I actually it does look good. I think you mentioned it looks pretty good too.
That's the Megan one. Oh,
yeah, it's like similar to Megan, I think. But
and I want to watch Flight Risk next week. It's not
Flight
the
Risk,
best.
yeah,
I don't
with
know if it's gonna be good, but we'll check it
was
out.
it with Matt or Mark Wahlberg?
Yep.
Yeah, and then there's another movie with the main guy from the movie Companion. It's what Dennis Quaid, Jack Quaid.
Okay.
I think
I don't know.
he is in this other movie. I think it comes out in February where he's this guy where he suffers from a disease where he can't feel pain.
Oh yeah, the guy from
That
The
looks
Boys.
pretty-
You
yeah,
didn't
that
say the
looks-
guy from The Boys.
Yeah, well he's from The Boys, yeah.
Yeah.
That
So,
looks pretty
okay.
good. It looks funny.
That does
It
seem good.
looks good.
And it's Super Bowl season, which means we're gonna get a bunch of trailers. You know that.
Yeah.
Usually at the end of the year, they're not always the best movies. Like I get hyped for them. Not always, not all of them. but usually the like big hype, low delivery.
Yeah. And
But
we're
we'll
also
see
a
this.
few weeks away from Captain America 4.
Which we
So
are gonna watch for sure.
yeah, we will.
Although
I
I
need
don't
to
want.
see Harrison Ford become a big red monster. That seems interesting to
I
me.
didn't even watch the trailer. I didn't watch any. I
Oh,
don't think I'm
well,
gonna watch it.
spoiler alert.
Thanks a lot. I think I'm just gonna go into it blind because I feel like if I watch the trailer, I'm gonna not like it and not watch it. So I'm just gonna go blind and hope to be surprised.
The other thing, I need all the listeners to bully Ramy into watching the Daredevil show because they just dropped the Daredevil
How many
trailer for
seasons is this?
season 4. It's season 4.
Oh God, that means and it's probably 3 seasons, like not 8 episodes a season. It's probably like a lot of right.
No, it's like 8 to 10, I think. It's
Okay,
not, they're not long
should
because
I check it out? Is
they're
this gonna
long
be like a remake?
episodes.
Is this a
They're lo
remake or they?
No, it's a continuation. So it will piggyback on the
Three
Netflix
seasons, man,
series.
I have to watch. And here you are watching the first season of Severance, and I'm giving you a hard time. This is 3 seasons, man.
Severance
Right
and Silo.
on.
I'm watching Silo too.
Oh, you're watching Silo still? It's just ended the second season. But what else? There's nothing much going on right now, but slow is good before we get into the summer because in the summer all the big hits come in, and it's gonna be boom, boom, boom. So we'll see. We'll see about this.
Thanks for watching this week's review of The Wolfman. We want to know what you think, so leave a comment. Tell us if you agree with me or Ramy. Other than that, have a great week and catch you next time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.